funding. A vote for will not raise your taxes and keeps the funding in place. And better roads means faster response times. Learn more at LincolnOnTheMove.com.
We use our Lincoln streets every day, and so do first responders. But visitors and out-of-town commuters also do. A 1/4-cent sales tax for streets passed by voters in 2019 makes those commuters pay about $6 million a year to improve streets. On your ballot in April is a measure to continue it. A vote against means no more funds from commuters. A vote for will not raise your taxes, and commuters still pay. Learn more at LincolnOnTheMove.com. Paid for by the City of Lincoln.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, 2-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Wrestling fans, it's time to elevate your game, just like Stevens & Smith Construction does for your concrete needs. As your full-service concrete contractor, we deliver solid results every time. From singles to doubles, fighting for inside position to scrambling reversals, we know how to pin down quality and slam expectations. Stevens & Smith Construction, a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket, where Husker wrestlers bring you all the action. Don't stall. Stevens & Smith Construction is here to help you build a concrete foundation for the win. Check us out at www.stevensandsmith.com because stalling is a penalty and winning is the only option.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Any showers and thunderstorms will be wrapping up here today. Then we'll see decreasing cloud cover. It's going to be a breezy Wednesday. Gusts up around 30 to 35 miles an hour. High temperature right around 61 degrees. Tonight, mostly clear all the way down to 34 for a low. We'll see plenty of sunshine tomorrow with a high temperature near 60 and then cooler and rainy as we head to the weekend. I'm geologist Aaron Downa for 93.7 The Ticket and TicketFM.com.
Early break. Sort of interesting that we could all learn from. He doesn't look at himself just as a running back, he said. I look at myself as a weapon. You should follow suit. I'm not just a radio host. I'm a weapon.
You agree? No, noted.
We're weapons.
Weapons.
Yes. Weapons of destruction.
With Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, and Bill Bush. From 6 to 9 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Spring is the time of new beginnings and trying new things. If you haven't tried Führer's cheese spread yet, the time is now. For parties for St. Patrick's Day and Easter or celebrating the NCAA tournament with friends, there's no better dip to bring everyone together and celebrate something from Nebraska. Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Führer's cheese spread. No event or party is complete without it on your table.
Have you been accused of a crime and don't know where to turn? At Liberty Law Group, we understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you're up against the legal system, you need an advocate you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. Liberty Law's experienced trial attorneys are committed to the defense of liberty for those accused. Don't let a criminal charge ruin your life. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you need. Advocates you deserve. That's 877-42-LIBERTY or libertylawnebraska.com.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934. 8934. HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Doren. God bless you.
Outside is where winter adventure unfolds. On frozen lakes, icy landscapes, and snow-covered slopes, feeling the cold air rush by as you race downhill. The freedom of gliding with ease and the warmth of being together. From epic sled rides to the fun of ice fishing, it's all right here beneath Nebraska skies. Start your winter adventure at yournebraskaparks.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Associations and this station.
Welcome to The Drive with AD Raff and Ahman Green. Former Husker football national champion, speaker, and author, Aaron Davis.
Nebraska will win the national championship. The Cornhuskers beat Miami. It is history, 13-0, and bring that trophy back to Lincoln.
Former Arena Football League quarterback, former head coach of the Capital City Crush, and guru of Husker football history, Chris Raff.
25 straight wins for the Cornhuskers. One of the most dominating stretches in college football history.
We may have seen one of the best teams in the history of college football tonight.
12-year NFL veteran.
He's got some speed to go with strength.
Huskers and Green Bay Packers Hall of Famer.
Shovel pass to Green into Vikings territory. Finally brought down.
And University of Nebraska eSports coach, Ahman Green.
Look at Green all by himself. 20, 10, touchdown.
Sponsored by Doors Plus on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome on this beautiful Wednesday morning. A little cloudy and very overcast here in the capital city. But it's a good day, Nicholas. How you doing this morning, my man?
I'm doing well, Mr. AD. Good morning. Good morning to our friends Raff and Ahman Green. Gents, top of the morning to you.
Good morning. Doing well.
There it is. AG, what time is your flight leave this morning? What time you got to cut out of here?
I got to cut out of here probably in about an hour.
Okay, cool.
Awesome.
Raff, how's the transition with the new dog going? How are things going on the home front?
It's going. We were going to call him Link, but now he's kind of adopted Ozzy. So Ozzy, I think, is going to be the catchphrase for him. How
does he decide what he's going to be called?
Same question. I'm with Nick on this one.
I feel like that's your role. It's not like the dog's
right.
Going, look, Chris, I'm sorry, but I like Ozzy a little bit more than Link. I'm sorry.
Sometimes Mama and Mama's daughter override. So.
Oh yeah, you're gonna learn that, Raff. Yeah. That comes down a lot.
Trust me, I learned it quickly this past week when Tracy's like, "Oh yeah, my friend at work's got a couple French bulldog puppies. They're gonna come meet us." I was like, "Oh, it looks like we're getting a dog."
So wait, if they're anti-Link, does that mean they're anti-Lincoln?
Oh no, it's Link is still in the name. So
okay,
but Ozzy's catching on. So
is it Link Lincoln or Link Legend of Zelda? I just want to know. I'm a gamer. I gotta get the clarification.
Well, for me, it's going to be Link Lincoln. I haven't played Legend of Zelda since 1987. 88.
Okay.
But I did play it, AG, so you got to be proud of me there.
Okay, appreciate you. Yep, gotcha.
How was Terrell Owens? I got to ask. Was he talking some smack yesterday?
Yeah, it was friendly banter back and forth for the stage. But me and my squad, we came in and we took care of business. For some reason, we didn't pick teams. The production company that put on the event here, they picked teams. So it's a movie premiere preview of a movie called Sneaks that's coming out April 18th. We got a list of actors: Anthony Mackie, Cat Williams, Martin Lawrence, to name a few. Mustard also is going to be in the movie as a voiceover actor. But T.O.'s team, they put me, Hank Baskett, Tariq Owens, and they had to do a replacement. A kid, older guy named Shane, who was actually one of the first original. You remember And One back in the day?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And Raff. So And One was one of the sponsors of these events. So they brought in one of their And One players to jump on our team because we had a substitute. But yeah, it went like it was a nice little sweep T.O. I was a captain of my team. We were Team Souls. He was Team Laces. And from, obviously, I would say T.O.'s non-experience in gaming, getting introduced to it now. And he had gamers on his squad, but I had to with the Dream Team Goon Squad from Space Jam going on. Because Hank Basket, if you don't know, he's also in the esports space, video game space. He builds PCs for a living right now. And so I connected with Hank back in 2016, and we've been, bosom buddies ever since then. So if you need a gaming PC, Nick, Raff, AD, some kid in your family, hey, let me know. I'll send Hank to you. He'll get you right. So
that's what I was going to ask. If so, there's a lot of people out there that will like use it as a personal project to build their own PC, and there's like kits you can buy. Obviously,
that's what he did to learn. He basically did it on his own first, and then after that, found out I could do this as a business, and he did.
So with that, I was going to ask AD and Raff, guys, how long, if you would fully take time, you didn't have any other obligations, you didn't have to go work out, you didn't have to come here to do the show, you didn't have to work, you didn't have to do anything. If you had no other distractions, how long do you think it would take for you guys to build a working PC? Jeez. With like one of these.
Can I look at a PC while I try to build a PC?
You can look at the PC. You can watch YouTube videos. You can read the instruction manual.
That's what Hank did.
How long do you think it would take you guys to build a PC? AG, how long would it take Hank? Are we looking like a month? Are we looking at like 2 weeks? What are we?
I ask him on that, but I say it took him. I know with my build, and my build was probably like 3-4 years ago now. It took him from the time I want a PC from you to the time I got it in my house and unboxed it. It was probably, and he was working on other PCs at the same time. Von Miller, Mark Ingram, to name a few.
I saw Mark Ingram.
I got it about 2.5 months later.
Okay. So I would say, are we maybe like 5 months for you guys? 5 months?
I would blow myself first.
Okay, all right.
AD, hold up. Time out. You do what?
Don't talk about PCs in front of AD.
I'd probably end up blowing myself up, wiring some cords the wrong way or something like that.
Well, if you're watching the videos, though, you'll get all the helpful tips because it'll take the first thing about using anything electronic. It'll tell you to ground your area. So that means between wearing wearing your tennis shoes and having rubber gloves on will ground you. So that's like the first information of making anything, not just a PC, but dealing with anything that has electrical current running through it.
That's interesting because I would have never thought about that. So I would have probably, electrocuted myself right off the bat. So it would have been, I'm not getting very far.
Oh, it only takes a little quick. Oh, okay, I'm good. That's all it takes.
There was a time where I never did like the fork in the outlet thing. Like some.
Obviously don't do that, please.
But like, there was this one time, and I'll never forget it. It was at our old house where I would plug in like a phone charger into an outlet into the wall. And it was one of those like janky outlets where I was like, okay, this is questionable. Right. Yeah. But anyway, I like plugged it in there and I felt that pulse go all the way through my elbow. And I was like, all right, so now we're going to be a little safer around these things going forward because we aren't just going to mess with outlets going forward.
It doesn't take much. Yeah, it doesn't take much to get that little jolt. And you'd be like, yeah, okay, gotcha. Don't do that again. Okay.
I woke up. It was like 11:30 at night. I was winding down and I don't think I went to bed that night. But anyway, so guys, what's the weather like? Because it is very gloomy here in Lincoln.
Let me see here.
72 and gloomy here, windy. Probably going to be some rain this afternoon. So boy, me and the puppy.
Right now, I got you can see the sun just coming up slowly, but it's 48.
I was say I see blue sky there. That's all.
Yeah, and it's 48 out here. I'm still, so like I said, still in Vegas, but flying out here in another hour.
Nice.
Or getting to the airport in an hour, but in about 10 o'clock my flight leaves.
Money G in Kansas. AG does have dogs. Y'all, I know one is named Apollo. What's the other dog's name? AG.
Ace.
AG. Apollo and Ace. And what's the name of what's your dogs?
They are full-grown English Mastiffs.
Yeah, they're some big boys.
Yeah, I'm 210. Apollo's probably like 205. Ace is about 208.
And they're designed to be that big.
Yeah,
that's their breed. Their breed.
They're not overweight.
This breed was like on the side, the left and right side of kings and queens in England back in the day.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
Like
Guys,
a technique. They're designed to be that big. Do they sit down with a pen and paper and like, okay,
hey, this is what the blueprint says. This is what the blueprint says.
Hey, they do. Like sometimes when we try to take pictures of them as much as possible, and every now and then we'll catch them sitting on the ground, like they'll have their hands crossed like this, and they'll be propped up like this.
It's like that. There's that video that has the sound of like, oh, look at that, this distinguished gentleman.
All right,
That's exactly what they do. It's hilarious. I'm like, oh, you looking all pretty and prime. Here you go.
Right, pretty and proper. Guys, I don't know if you saw this. Texas A&M in the world of sports. Texas A&M lost their basketball coach yesterday. So Maryland hired Buzz Williams, Texas A&M's basketball coach, away from the Aggies yesterday. It was one of the worst kept secrets. I mean, this whole Maryland coaching situation where it was Kevin Willard at first, and he spent a week and a half while the Terps were still in the NCAA tournament trying to deflect questions about whether or not he was going to leave to go to Villanova. Right, yeah, like it was the writing was kind of on the wall, and then you go to find out that even before the game was played over the weekend, that he had already agreed to a deal with Villanova. So I mean, it was just clear deflection the entire time. But so Kevin Willard leaves Maryland, and just a couple of days later, it's already wrapped up, and Buzz Williams is going to coach the Terps, which leaves an opening for Texas A&M.
Travis got some hiring to do.
And that's what I wanted to mention real quick, is because it's fascinating with Trev Albertson. This is, I genuinely take the name and the connection to Nebraska out of it. It goes back to me not envying athletic directors right now, because for a guy like Trev, who's not a basketball guy, like he's not a basketball centric guy. He's definitely football first, like Troy Dannon kind of is. It's always interesting because there's a little bit of heat right now in that Aggies athletic department because of the baseball team. And it's a completely different show down there with baseball, because Texas A&M makes the College World Series last year.
Expectations are nuts.
Don't forget what happened with Jim Schlossnagle.
Yep. When
Jim Schlossnagle just dips, and where's he go? He goes to Texas.
I remember that last year.
And A&M is one of the premier baseball jobs in the country, and it felt kind of like a lazy hire going with Michael Early, who is a first-time head coach to lead the baseball program. Well, now the baseball program is 2-8 in SEC play this season. They started the season number 1 in the country. They have not lived up anywhere close to expectations. And on top of it, they just finished off a renovation of their entire baseball field and facilities.
They just got that $50 million money agreement too, as well.
And so
there's
you
a lot
have
of pressure.
with the Playfly. But then on top of it is what's the feeling with Mike Elko? Does he move the needle a whole lot for you at a place like A&M? I'm not sure. Well, now there's a lot of pressure on this hire, not only because Texas A&M was good at basketball, back-to-back NCAA tournaments. Their coach leaves. Now Trev has to hire somebody that's going to keep them at that spot and then still elevate them, while also having the shadows of your other two hirings with Elko and Early not necessarily being fan favorites to this point.
It's a big hire, man.
It's a massive hire.
This is going to be a massive hire. And this is one I would say, because Texas A&M the past number of years, obviously in baseball, football has obviously underperformed according to their expectations as far as that goes. And basketball has been relevant, taking care of business. This is major for him, you guys. I mean, in Texas, think about down in Texas, they will get rid of you.
Yeah.
They will get rid of you down there.
No, they do business. They do business down here on all levels, high school too, little league, everywhere.
Yeah.
I was always worried about Elko to begin with, just because he wasn't Trev's hire to begin with.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's just kind of a bizarre situation, and I don't think wrong camera. I don't think that it's necessarily. I'm not sitting here saying Trev Alberts is on the hot seat, and this has nothing to do with that he was previously in Nebraska, of why we're talking about him. We talk about the same way about Chris Del Conte at Texas if it happened to them. But it's AG, you just mentioned it, the way they do business in Texas. Nobody likes to be viewed and known and referred to as little brother. But right now, over the last 6 to 8 months, it's been A&M as little brother to Texas, because of multiple areas, because of the success on the football field that Texas had this season in comparison to A&M, because of their baseball coach leaving A&M to go to Texas and bringing a chunk of his staff and a chunk of their players with them to the Longhorns.
Mm-hmm.
And then if A&M would have success this year in baseball, which they'll still make the regional, they always will. But if they were having success, nobody would talk about it. But you're 2-8 in the SEC, and that's certainly not going to get it done.
And just the deep disdain for each other down there. I spoke at Texas A&M and Texas when I was at A&M speaking. Forget what their AD's name at the time. That was about 12, 13 years ago. He goes, they don't like us, and we don't like them. It was very simple. Yeah. So it goes a long way. Gentlemen,
I don't mind that.
It makes it fun.
You know what things are, baby.
You played, obviously, as long as you did in the league. And I think this is interesting. The NFL announced, obviously, at the coaches' meetings and the ownership meetings there in Florida, they're implementing the 6 8K cameras for optical tracking of the ball's position. So that's going to change the chain game. The chain game will be there as a secondary capacity.
Man, chain gang losing their jobs. Dang.
Yeah. No, chain gangs, their job just got easier.
No, I'm just saying, well sort of.
It's not my fault. It's not my fault. But then there's going to be a time when the referee's like, hey, okay, we need the chain gang, and he's going to be looking over and be like, did you see what happened? Because I didn't see what happened. Do you know where I'm supposed to be? I forgot that we were actually important in all this.
So let me explain this to you guys. I'm going to get you guys' input on this because, like you said, Nick, there's going to be like, hey, the camera did it. So the system,
we got
the camera never lies. So there you go.
Hey, Wi-Fi goes down. What's going to happen?
Hey, the system notifies on-field officials for the measurements outcome with virtual recreations of the measurements produced in real time for the in-stadium crowds and broadcast audience. The total process takes about 30 seconds, saving up to 40 seconds over measurement via change. The Hawkeye system we operated by the NFL's Art McNally, Game Day Central Officiating Center in New York, and integrated with the league's existing replay system. Gentlemen, let me ask you this. Do you think this is a good for the game, or does it hinder the game?
I say it's good for the game as long as everybody that has a job with this addition does it right and make it a clean transition during the game, and not make it a 10-15 minute hold up. So if it does that, then yes, I'll add it in, no problem, because then it's gonna make the game, I say, be more efficient, be accurate. And then when something goes down, conversion or what have you, then the teams, the fans, everybody will see, that this thing is working. So long as all the people that are supposed to do this job to get this, I say mechanical technology added, make sure you do your job all the time. Because then it could then be added and nobody's like having upsets and we got to appeal things later on at the end of the next season. So
major thing the major thing for me is pace of play. If it's like, volleyball or baseball, with Nick was telling us about tapping the helmet, if they can get the result, like you said, it's within 30 seconds. So if it does not interfere with pace of play, I'm good with it. But if it starts to interfere with that, then you got a problem.
Exactly. No 5-10 minute breaks, basically.
And I think technology's at a spot now where I think when they say real-time decision making, I think it's going to be real-time decision making almost instantaneously. So I think that's going to be good. I feel like we always try to get these absolutes in sports, and I'm not as much of a fan of it as maybe the next guy is. I get it that you want every call to be right and you want it to be perfect and you want every house. Yeah, and you want every call to be the absolute right call. I get that. But we also fall in love with sports because there's a human element in it.
Yep.
And I feel like across all sport, whether it's baseball, whether it's basketball with reviews, whether now it's football, is we are getting farther and farther away from allowing the people that we put in place to do their jobs. I think it's almost kind of a lazy out because you're allowing, and what I mean by this is if you train your officials better, if you hold them to a higher standard, if you make them responsible to talk to media or you talk to an upper hand, whatever the case may be, the expectation is going to be better. Like I think like if you What I'm trying to get at is I understand we want the absolutes. I get that.
Yeah, we want the right call, basically.
That's the most fair you can make the game.
Yeah, we want the right call.
But in sports like baseball and in sports like football, you're never going to be able to have 100% judgment, unbiased calls. That's just how it is. And you play the game and you compete in the game understanding that.
Yeah.
And so I think that we're going to continue to try to bring in technology and bring in extra cameras and bring in these attempts at making absolute decisions with taking the human element out of the game, and we're never going to be happy. We're never going to be able to be happy, because the game as we love it and as we've grown to fall in love with it, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, whatever, it always features a human element, whether we like to agree with it or not.
Yeah. So Nick, I agree with you there. But that human element is going to always be the complainer. Why I didn't do this. So I agree. I agree with you there. So just know that it's always going to be that. But the game, like Raff said already, and I said, the game got to keep moving. We got to keep the game moving. 100%. So regardless of how every year some coach, and I think it's the owners step up and say, hey, I want to dispute this penalty or this call that was made this year, 47% of the time, game has to be played. So, once you review it, flip it upside down, dissect it, take the thread out of it, put it back in, do all that. Yeah. At the end of the day, the game got to get going. So for the people that do that, some owners out there, some coaches that put in the complaints and the changes, it's only coming from a place of, man, we lost that game because of this. And you got to really go back to the fundamentals of competition. Hey, you're going to win some, you're going to lose some. Do your job to win, and then you don't have to leave it up to somebody outside of your network, being a referee or anything, not your teammates or your coaches or technology to add it all the same and just get the job done. So that's where you got to boil down to, because I know that at the end of the year, with a lot of the stuff that gets disputed, like this year, the tush push, I was like, this is a joke. Not a joke. I won't say that. I say this is funny only because it's people that haven't mastered it yet. Yeah, that's the only reason it got a challenge. And unfortunately, is my team, the Packers, was the main team complaining about it. And I'm like, hey, you gotta suck it up, Buttercup. Hey, find a rugby coach and bring them in and teach your offensive lineman and defensive lineman how to run it, and defensive lineman how to defend against it.
That's the point.
Mano y mano, go there.
That's the point I think I was trying to make. Is it allows teams, not even teams, it's more so organizations, to become lazier with allowing officials and referees that they institute, that they train to not have to require as much. Well, I mean, that's the honest truth. Is it's like if an official knows, okay, look, I don't have to spot the ball perfectly every time because it's going to naturally tell me if it's a first down, then they're not doing what they're put in the game to do. That's my point of all of this. If a baseball umpire knows, okay, yeah, you know what? That's a 50-50 call. Let me call it this way. And if they want to challenge it, it's their fault. If they don't want to challenge it and I called it a ball, it's their fault. It's not my fault.
Well, a few from the text line here too. I mean, and I see what both of you are saying too. When it makes teams less lazy. And AG, I'm going to say I think it's a joke where they don't like the tush push, because to your point, master it then.
Right, master it, dude.
Master it then. You look at AG, think about the option, how much people complained about
100%. 100%. And I said every when I got drafted into the NFL, I would like, when we're doing offensive installation, when I was at the Seahawks and the Packers, I said to myself, why don't we install the option? Every now and then I would say that, because I'm like, if you run it the right way, and we got people that can run it the right way, because Brett ran the option when he was at Southern Miss, nobody will stop us. And they're like, no, it's too, it'll get stopped because of that. I said, no, it's not, because players gotta realize the fundamentals of stopping it. And if they don't know the fundamentals, most teams don't teach that no more at the pro level at that time, especially now. Especially then. It's better now because they run an RPO. So guys are understanding that the RPO action for a defender, you got to take one guy. You got somebody got assigned to the quarterback, somebody got assigned to the receiver, and then somebody got assigned to the running back, because it's a 3-option for RPO, quarterback in terms of decision making. So he could go to the receiver, hand it to the running back, or he could keep it and run. So you got to have 3 guys on defense that's going to defend that. That's going to be the individual person to stop them. Now, if you don't do that, you're going to get torched. It's that simple. Yep.
A few of the Texas right here, and here's why I think. I mean, I understand why they're doing it, but at the same time, I think it breeds laziness. I mean, and I'm not knocking anybody, first of all, because technology is a beautiful thing. But I look at how some kids don't even know how to communicate with other kids because they're so stuck to an iPad.
Yeah.
You know, they don't know how to. They don't know how to think creatively like we did. You know, you think about it, AG and Raff, when we were kids. I'm not knocking you, Nick. It's just literally an age thing.
You're absolutely right.
We had coloring books. We had to use our imagination when we went outside to play. We didn't have any screens in our face growing up.
Yeah.
And you think about old Dad 34 says computers are taking over the sports. Not good. Jesse says here, you have to be okay with missed calls if you don't want instant replay because you have to sit at home and we can watch it in slow motion 200 times.
100%.
Now, Unknown Texter's got a great point here as well, and I totally get this. Speaking of cameras, why haven't they installed a camera that runs directly down the goal line and sidelines so they have the best angles? Seems simple, but they haven't done them. Too much money involved to have the human element making mistakes. And you look at, and he brings a good point, because you look at gambling right now, how it's legal. You look at how there's been like major, especially NBA, where the guy was, with whipping calls on purpose.
Shaving and stuff. Yeah.
So I understand both sides of it, but it can be efficient while still keeping the human element in there.
With the money conversation, you chose that.
Absolutely.
You've allowed the market to. I would even take the sports betting out of it. I would say contracts, or once again, it goes on the organizations. You've allowed the market to reset the way it has, to where you're paying guys hundreds of millions of dollars to go win you football games or win you baseball games. Like this has all been allowed. And so, yeah, I think it's a very valid point in that why you can't have as many mistakes as we've had in the last couple of years. But instead of, I put that less on the human element and more so on the amount of training. You want to talk about pay,
lack thereof.
Are college football officials able to solely work officiating jobs so that they can be and that's my
point.
And
we found that out during COVID year, I believe.
Yes.
We found that out during COVID year.
That's my point. Jay Gates is a perfect example. Our guy, he's a perfect example. He works a full-time job, but then also does officiating on the side. Like if there's ways to improve the officiating, and if you want to go pay hundreds of millions of dollars or pay a college basketball player $2.5 million to come win you basketball games, that's fine. But as an organization, pay your officials what they deserve to be paid so that they don't have to work a full-time job on the side, and that they can devote 40 hours a week in the off season, during the season, to training, to learning the game, to watching film, understanding the teams, because that's so much a part of it. Is where we saw it in the state tournament even as well. And I'm not saying the NSAA needs to do this, but what I'm getting at is
your multi-million-dollar operations.
You're crazy if it's not important and vital for a referee to go and see, okay, what does this defensive back do defensively that I need to watch for on Sunday? Or what does this guy that when he runs the floor in transition, how does he kind of use his left arm to kind of hook a defender? And do I want to let him continue to get away with that, or do I want to stop that from the get-go? They're doing all of this and watching all this film in preparation of how they can call and construct the game while also working a full-time job. And it's not good for the purpose of sports that, as that texter pointed out, has all this money going into it.
Abe and Rosalie, we'll say this before we go to break real quick. Abe says, why don't they have replay on roughing the QB? I totally agree, because it is so... There's some calls that just blow your mind.
But then it's subjective.
Yeah, it is.
It's all subjective.
It's subjective, but at the same time, make it correct is what we've had this conversation
but what is
before.
Correct?
Yeah, you don't know.
That's my thing.
Here's what I'm saying. They need to define correct and stick to it.
But they've tried. Like that's my whole point in all of this is we try to get to this absolute.
Yeah.
And we try to get to this is what the rule says.
Yeah.
Well, then we're gonna have it in week 3 when it happens to Patrick Mahomes.
But you know what, Nick?
But so it's always gonna be subjective.
But hear me out. It goes to your point where they need to be having training all year, so 100%. Everybody's on the same page 100%. When it comes to that.
Go ahead, AG, real quick before we go to break.
Yeah, this is the problem of big business, right? We have, these companies, these Fortune 500 companies in these professional teams in all leagues, right?
Yeah.
Paying the players, paying the coaches. But then when some things need to be more paid attention to, what they do, They throw the cheap stuff at it. They don't pay attention to it. They don't support it the way they support the players. So I 100% agree with you, Nick, where if you want to have these calls absolute and perfect and all that, why don't you give the same treatment you give to the players and coaches to the referees? That's also part of the game.
Yeah.
Beyond the technology, give them what they need where they don't have to work 2 jobs.
Absolutely.
Make sure they got everything they need. They go to training, because I know for a former player, they could fast track me. Me and Jay, if we decided to go be a referee in the NFL, they'll fast track us. Why? Because we've been on the field. We know what holding is. We know what personal foul is. We know what pass interference is and all that. So we could go there, but we still got to, even though they fast track us, we still got to go through about 2 or 3 months of training before the regular season starts to get caught up on anything new, So I would rather have a former player, which I know a lot of former players that are referee. Every now and then I'm watching between Monday Night Football, some college football games. I'm like, oh, that's so-and-so. He played at Texas Tech, or he played at, he was at Wyoming, or what have you. They are doing that, but it's just, you gotta, so at all levels, if you're going to have all this, going on and have that, like Nick said, absolute judgment on a call to make sure it goes left or right, or goes right or wrong. Pay everybody involved and make sure you support them just as well. You should support everybody else in the league.
And the NFL can't say they can't afford it. Get the hell
100%.
They can't afford not to.
This is all a collective decision of like what's more important to owners. Should we
know that. That's this.
Should we invest in our officials, or should we just invest in cameras? And they're telling us time and time again that they're just doing cameras because it's the easy, lazy.
Yes, you're right.
Way. It's the easy, lazy cop out option.
Well, folks, we will see. It's going to be a great time to see how it works out this season. That's for sure. When we come back, Nick was actually at the baseball game yesterday. I was watching it.
I wish I wasn't.
Yeah, watching it from my desk, and it is what it is. We'll discuss when we come back. It's The Drive, 93.7 The Ticket.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage door sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, a realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com or give them a call today at 402-590-5800. Doors Plus. Garage doors and more.
I'm Chief Dave Engler. When a fire truck hits a pothole with 12 tons of fast-moving equipment and crew, it's a problem. On your ballot in April is a measure to continue Lincoln's quarter-cent sales tax for street improvements. A vote against eliminates the street funding. A vote for will not raise your taxes and keeps the funding in place. And better roads means faster response times. Learn more at LincolnOnTheMove.com.
We use our Lincoln streets every day, and so do first responders. But visitors and out-of-town commuters also do. A quarter-cent sales tax for streets passed by voters in 2019 makes those commuters pay about $6 million a year to improve streets. On your ballot in April is a measure to continue it. A vote against means no more funds from commuters. A vote for will not raise your taxes, and commuters still pay. Learn more at LincolnOnTheMove.com. Paid for by the City of Lincoln.
Raising Cane's is celebrating our golden birthday year. Join the party with golden chicken fingers and a limited edition golden blush puppy that benefits local pet organizations. Get yours while supplies last. See RaisingCanes.com for details. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
What's going on, fans? This is Lexi Rodriguez, four-time All-American at Nebraska and now proud member of Omaha's newest professional team, Love Omaha Volleyball. League One Volleyball is bringing the heat this year. Don't miss your chance to see Olympians, national players, and national champions right here in Omaha from now through April. We can't wait to see you cheering us on in the stands. Visit LOVBOMA.com to buy single match tickets to see me and Love Omaha Volleyball in action this season. Go Big Green!
Wrestling fans, it's time to elevate your game, just like Stevenson Smith Construction does for your concrete needs. As your full-service concrete contractor, we deliver solid results every time. From singles to doubles, fighting for inside position to scrambling reversals, we know how to pin down quality and slam expectations. Stevenson Smith Construction, a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. where Husker wrestlers bring you all the action. Don't stall. Stevens & Smith Construction is here to help you build a concrete foundation for the win. Check us out at www.stevensandsmith.com because stalling is a penalty and winning is the only option.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Any showers and thunderstorms will be wrapping up here today. Then we'll see decreasing cloud cover. It's going to be a breezy Wednesday, gusts up around 30 to 35 miles an hour. High temperature right around 61 degrees. Tonight, mostly clear all the way down to 34 for a low. We'll see plenty of sunshine tomorrow with a high temperature near 60 and then cooler and rainy as we head to the weekend. I'm meteorologist Aaron Doudna for 93.7 The Ticket and ticketfm.com.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Have you been accused of a crime and don't know where to turn? At Liberty Law Group, we understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you're up against the legal system, you need an advocate you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. Liberty Law's experienced trial attorneys are committed to the defense of liberty for those accused. Don't let a criminal charge ruin your life. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you need. Advocates you deserve. That's 877-42-LIBERTY or libertylawnebraska.com.
Early break.
Sort of interesting that we could all learn from. He doesn't look at himself just as a running back, he said. I look at myself as a weapon. You should follow suit. I'm not just a radio host. I'm a weapon.
Noted.
We're weapons.
Weapons.
Yes. Weapons of destruction.
With Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, and Bill Bush from 6 to 9 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now back to The Drive with AD, Raff, and Ahman Gray on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Folks, we are.
There we go. We were on. We were on. The headphones just weren't turned up.
Headphones weren't turned up.
We're good. I promise it's not my first day. Believe it or not.
Not your first rodeo at all.
It's not my first day.
And I'm here stuffing my face with this muffin. But a big shout out to Magic. One of our faithful listeners, man, listened to us quite a bit and brought us in some donuts. And I told him he came in Wednesday. And a big shout out to Monday. Yep. He said he's going to come in Wednesday. And a big shout out to Magic is a year sober today.
Yo, Magic.
And, yeah, Raff, I hadn't seen Magic in a while, man. And he came in Monday and he goes, Wednesday will be a year sober. Dude, he looks totally different. Nick, when you see him, I mean, he looks great, man. He looks great. Always had a heart of gold, of course. And just looks good, man. Magic looks really great. So I can't express how proud I am of him and just how inspiring he is, man. And so today I want to bring some morning donuts. I said, well, I'm not going to eat donuts today, but we'll go the muffin, just a slight muffin, because I can't eat a lot after the morning workouts, whatever. Big shout out to Magic, man. Love you, man. We love you. We appreciate you, just your hard work and your sobriety, my brother. So, and Rafi said to tell you what's happening, man, down there in Bama, so don't forget about him.
I will not. Congratulations, Magic. Proud of you, brother.
Absolutely. Nick, you went to the game yesterday. I was watching it from my office. And I was thinking, okay, they're going to turn it on. They're going to turn it on. They're going to turn it on. And they did not turn it on.
Yeah.
Nick, you being the baseball aficionado, you and AG and Raff, all you guys have a better insight on baseball than I do. But Nick, I mean, obviously we're not going to talk about the midweek game. We know that. We've been struggling with that for years now. But man, it sure as heck seems like Creighton does it.
Well, Creighton now winners of 12 of the last 14 that they've played against Nebraska. I mean, this is a rivalry that's been dominated by the Blue Jays 12 of the last 14 times. I just think it was the prototypical just not being able to throw strikes. Like in last night's game in the top of the first inning. So TJ Coates was the starting pitcher for Nebraska last night.
One out.
And he's able to get one out, but it started off, it was like he allowed a double, then responded with a big strikeout, and it's like, okay, he's going to settle in, right? Limit the damage. Then it turns into 3 consecutive walks with a hit by pitch. So you're talking about 4 consecutive free passes. And you guys know how often I talk about and reference those 4 consecutive free passes. So when it's all said and done, though, I think it's simply just going back to the fundamentals of baseball. It's throw strikes, get guys out, especially on a day like yesterday where the wind's blowing in from the outfield. It's going to be it was cold and blustery in the early parts of the afternoon. Runs we expected to be at a premium, and to be fair, they would have been if Nebraska didn't surrender so many free passes and errors. And going into this week from a taking a smaller or a bigger step out, going into this week, this is a very important week for Nebraska. You faced Creighton yesterday, you play Omaha later on today, and then you have a series this weekend as well. And so you got 5 games in, what is it, like 6 days? Or five games in 5 days or 6 days, and you're sitting there saying, we need all the pitching that we can get, but your guy can't even get out of the first inning. And it's just Nebraska doesn't have longevity right now. I think a lot of people over the course of the season, they're going to blame the struggles, and the easy cop-out answer is that Mason McConaughey went down. I think there's a lot more to it, though, than just losing your Friday night guy.
Yeah. And to piggyback on that, like what Nick talked about is the pitching, right? Pitching has to get a little bit better there. But then on the flip side, I would say the good thing is the bats are there, because they got 12 hits compared to Creighton's 5 in terms of the game itself. So that right there is something that there is a little silver lining. But then you talk about just the midweek part of it too. I think that's more of a mental thing that they eventually got to get over there. They're not addressing it. When you got something going on in your life, it may be, holding you back from something, and you don't know what it is. If you don't speak about it, I think they need to talk about it amongst themselves as a team to get past that, because like I said, they put up a good show in terms of the bats, but then the pitching it all works in unison, just like in a football game, run versus pass. How the run game is going, the pass game is going to get affected, or it's going to be productive off of it, vice versa. So if the pitching is not there, and you got hits, scoring is going to be interesting, because five runs should get you a victory if you got good pitching.
100%.
So in that, so in that standpoint, that's where the little struggle back and forth between now just getting past this mental part of it shouldn't be, no matter the dime of the week of the game, go out there, play baseball and get a win, but do the things you need to do to get the win.
I mean, guys, go start, AD. I was going to cut you off there.
No, go ahead. I was just going to say, weather-wise, I'm looking at it for tonight. It's 0% is precipitation in Omaha.
Well, and plus you don't have to worry about precipitation as much. Tally Anderson Field is an all turf field, and so it's able to handle a little bit more rain than like if they were playing at Haymarket Park or whatever. So there's other factors in it as well. But I look at it from a program standpoint, guys. And I was talking to somebody that actually, pays close attention to Creighton baseball this morning, texting back and forth with them. Creighton's in a really good spot. This is Ed Service's last year, who's been the coach there for forever. But you'll forget that they went out and hired last year when Ed Service says like, hey, I'm going to just run it back for one more year. Next year is going to be my last year. They went out and hired a coach that was okay with waiting for a season and taking over in 2026. They went out and hired Mark Kingston, who was the former South Carolina head coach. They have an SEC coach in waiting, an SEC head coach in waiting to take over, who's around the program. He's just laying low right now, but he's around the program. He's involved in recruiting. He's involved with getting to know the players. And Ed Service is still the manager, but you have your head coach in waiting that's going to be on staff and in the dugout for an entire year. Not only from the in-state standpoint has Creighton dominated in-state success against Nebraska. Like I said, 12 of the last 14 games Creighton has won. But from we brought up the little brother, big brother type of thing. Nebraska's not there yet. But this is one of those things where it's like you look at Creighton and there's a lot of local guys on that roster. There's a lot of local guys. Their starting third baseman is Nick Van Tyker, who, if you listen to any of our state baseball calls here on the Ticket the last couple of years, he's the dude that hit the grand slam at Warner Park 2 years ago. He's the dude that hit, I think it was 2 or 3 home runs in the state tournament this last season. Like there's things there.
Yeah. And to that point, between local kids, having dominance over Nebraska and even UNO, that's, and then going back to what you first started that whole conversation about, that part of the conversation was you got an SEC coach in waiting. So one thing about baseball players, we're patient. Okay. The way I learned how to hit a curveball, my coach said, be patient when the ball goes up. Let it come down to you and you put your bat out there. So the same thing here. They hire an SEC coach who we know from the SEC teams, ACC teams, and Southern teams in general. Good coaching, good players. So that is just smart business understanding and meeting, probably having a job interview, say, hey, we want this. We want to give you the job, but you got to do this first. You got to wait a few years or maybe a year. You know what? I'm fine with that because I know the talent of this program. I know the history of Creighton baseball too. If you study it, it's good. It's good. It's good stuff. So knowing that for himself, I'm pretty sure. If not, he had to study that to know that, to make that decision, do that, to be there. Kind of help recruit, and that just bolsters everything else, right? Then the recruiting pops up. Then you got all the players you need to be, a good solid 9-man roster of rotations, having the fourth guy, being the slugger, whoever that is. Then everything flows, and so that's good. I say good management, project management. And good, good leadership, business acumen of making sure you're putting that together in terms of hiring that SEC coach.
Raff, you look at when Nick, you mentioned little brother, and I want you to answer this, and I'll go. We got Omaha tonight at 6. That's there at Omaha, and you have Rutgers starting on Friday, which we'll get to that at another time. But Raff, in my opinion, Nebraska is only big brother in student enrollment only. You don't get boat race that many times in a row, and you're still their little brother. And I think personally, Creighton takes that personally. It's like, screw that. We're not your little brother. You would just bat like Toucan Sam on cartoons. So, I think they take it personally, quite honestly, because Nebraska, they have dominated Nebraska.
Yeah. And it's good friendly, it's good friendly competition. That's what it is among colleges. That's just good and natural, and it's healthy. It's good, healthy competition. That's what you should do with school within the state lines. That is fun because it makes it competitive within the state as well. It let know that you definitely know you're gonna get competition outside the state.
What is this friendly competition stuff, AG? We do not like Creighton. There's no friendship about it. Come on, AG.
Hey, okay. Raff and crew and Chad, I'm about to break it down for you. If you guys are into comic books like I am, if you remember the movie X-Men, it was an X-Men, and it was Back to the Past. It was a X-Men Days Past. It was a scene with Magneto and Professor X. Magneto was all about hating everybody and trying to destroy the world and everything. But Professor X said to him, for you to be the strongest that you have to be, you have to learn to be calm and be positive and focus on how to help yourself and help the world. And so he's telling a villain this, okay? This is a comic book story. The heroine, the hero is telling the villain that you basically got to be nice to be as strong and pure as you need to be. So Raff, that's where I'm talking about fun, friendly competition. Hey, read a comic book every now and then, you learn something. Just saying.
Hey, I'll tell you what, Raffy.
I don't like Colorado either.
I just think, like, you just mentioned, AD, like you feel like Creighton probably takes it personal. Wouldn't you take losing 11 going into
You would think
losing
so.
11 to 13
You would
personal?
think exactly, bro.
Like
You would think so.
That's my thing.
It's
Is like I'd be pretty pissed if I knew coming in, okay, this team has beaten us 11 out of the 13 times. A lot of the guys are still on the roster. I mean, I don't know what other motivation you need.
I don't get it, Nick. I seriously don't. And old-eyed Ray, one-eyed Ray, I appreciate your big goals. Are we in a position to call anybody little brother? Baseball, especially not Creighton.
No.
And Nick, to your point, I don't get why you wouldn't take that personal.
Yeah.
I mean, I because it's like when you look at when we played against Raff, this is no disrespect against your school, but we wanted to beat Southeast because they bludgeoned us. Yeah. I had guys that when we finally beat Southeast my senior year and Raff's senior year, that was the first time we had beat Southeast Raff, 10 years, something like that, if not longer?
Yeah, it was a long time.
Yeah, it was a long time. And they were less than 2 miles away from Lincoln High School. We took it personally. We hated everything about Southeast beating us in ball. Yeah. I don't know how Nebraska turns that around, Nick, and they're on. I'm not down there, so I'm not going to speak. I'm not going to speak for them. You have a lot better insight than I do.
I have a couple options. Go ahead, AG.
So my point is that the hatred that you guys are feeling, use that as a learning experience to then focus on, look at all the finite details to get you to a victory. Because when you sometimes hate something or are so frustrated, it clouds your judgment and clouds what you actually see in front of your own eyes. That's the point. So AD, you talking about those Southeast games where you hated the team so bad because they have beat y'all so many times? If you would have focused and put in a little bit more work and watching film and seeing what the weaknesses are, it wasn't just the emotion that got the victory. It's all a whole bunch of things that we come into getting a victory, So that's where I'm talking about, having that emotion is great, but then also you got to have that focus and get locked in to be able to understand what you need to do to get the victory against that team.
Yeah, I wasn't happy with AD either. What's that, Raff?
I wasn't happy with you either the next day, AD, when we had to go out and practice full pads, and usually it's just an easy walk, run around the block.
Oh yeah,
it was a lesson learned. Lesson learned
that day, and that's the beauty of athletics. That's the beauty of rivalries. But until you beat a team, a rivalry is when you go back and forth, not when you've been boat raced 12 straight times, man. So
12. And then AD Raff question: what did you learn when y'all lost or when y'all win against each other back there? Can you state that?
I don't know about. We learned we had to do better, but it comes
down. Exactly. Stop it. Exactly.
Like,
you learned that you had to do better. Raff, what was yours?
Had to do better. But
Raff, what was yours? Hold on, AD. Let Raff. Hold on. Let Raff speak real quick.
I learned that AD was a phenomenal athlete and should go to the University of Nebraska.
Nice.
Any real observation, Raff? Come on. Give me some. Give me some.
One last thing on baseball. Since that's what we started with, I just think it's a real shame because Nebraska had an opportunity again to build off of the momentum of this weekend and a series win against number 5 Oregon State. They had a chance to, and it didn't even last one inning. It didn't last. The momentum and the confidence. It did not even last a half an inning.
It was disappointing,
and so it was a real disappointing letdown. You had and this is the part with Nebraska baseball though, guys, is that it's the part that I've been clamoring for is you need guys outside of your usual suspects to step up. Like TJ Coates yesterday, and it's going to sound like we're bashing him, but he was the starter. Is he's able to record one out. But then it's like, gosh dang, dude, in an important week where you got 5 games coming up, they have to turn to Jeter Worthley right out of the gate and use him as a pseudo starter. But what's he do? He does what Jeter Worthley always does. He comes in, he slams the door. And Nebraska is going to be okay with those guys continuously stepping up. But if they truly want to get to where Will Bolt always talks about, and that's hosting a regional, which is so far away from what the reality of Nebraska baseball is right now this season, they need other guys that are not Jeter Worthley, that are not, in the previous years, Max Anderson, Bryce Matthews. They need those other guys to step up and do something. It cannot be your usual suspects game after game. That's how you take the next step. But yet Nebraska can't. And they've proven time and time again, they can't find guys that are farther down in the rotation or farther into that bullpen that they're able and willing to go to in crunch time or not even in crunch time to start a game.
Yeah.
So it's just frustrating time right now, AG.
Yeah, so I'll add in the moment in the game where they had the opportunity to take advantage. So Kerry plunked the open. He got, hit with a pitch in the eighth, bottom of the eighth. Then Butenbach gets on base with a single to left field. In that situation. So then Frost is at the plate, pinch hitting, then lines into the RBI double down the line. So you got now you got runners on. But then the next moment, they're trailing 6-5. And then you have a guy on second. It says runners on second and third, and then one out. And then the next two hitters for the Huskers, there's nothing. They're retired. So it's those little moments like that. You got to take advantage of that moment, because if you get those runners in, now we're looking at 7-6. You see what I'm saying? So that is now then playing situational baseball, right?
Yeah.
So in that situation, not looking at the bigger picture, because if you try to go macro, then yes, it's overwhelming to what is going on between Creighton and Nebraska baseball over. But now take it micro. It's just look at this one little sequence of plays. We make hits, we got runners in scoring position, and then the rest of the city, we do not. So you want it when you got runners on base, you got to bring them in. How you manufacture that, it doesn't matter. Get them in to that home plate, but it didn't happen. So looking at those little micro situation like that, winning that little situation will put the game in a different situation or different outcome, obviously, towards the end. So just look at that throughout the season. If they had little minor situations where they had a chance to take the lead, get guys on base, strike somebody out, those are this is the moment. Those are the little things I'm talking about that you really got to focus on and not get caught up in the midweek stuff or the bigger picture stuff. Oh man, they beat us 13. No, look at the little things. Look, let's focus on the moment. Be in the moment. And that was being in the moment to try to score those 2 runs. Then it's a different game. Now we put pressure on Creighton and their game in terms of hitting and pitching.
Yeah, it's the cliche, keep football, keep baseball. It's that cliche reference there always. Derek in a car, he chimes in and says, Nick, remember we lost 2 best pitchers, Mason and Tucker Timmerman. Tucker's working his way back. Maybe this team is a late bloomer. I think, though, at that end of it all, this team doesn't have the luxury of being a late bloomer. Nebraska baseball, Big Ten baseball programs, they don't have luxuries of being late bloomers in terms of national respect and RPI. That's why a 40-win Rutgers team was left out of a regional a couple of years ago. It's because they didn't have enough non-con respect in teams that they played before Big Ten season started. So Big Ten baseball programs don't have the luxury of being late bloomers. That's why you have to build off of success in Frisco, and you have to build off of success in against Oregon State. The other part is you're absolutely right, AG. Like the offense approach at the plate for Nebraska is still somewhat mind-boggling to me at times. I feel like they sometimes don't have the greatest offensive approach at the plate. Keep baseball, runners in scoring position, being able to manufacture runs, driving in, leaving guys on base. That goes back to that cliche, keeping baseball. And you're certainly right against the macro or the micro piece of it. Let's head to break. Andy.
Absolutely. Well, folks, we're heading to break. Nebraska takes on UNO tonight at 6 p.m. That's in Omaha. Then obviously Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 3-game home series against Rutgers. And then on Tuesday, they're back down to Lawrence, Kansas, and they take up Iowa the following weekend. Folks, we'll be back. We got some quick history, and then we'll dive into some sound bites we had yesterday from Nebraska defensive coordinator John Butler. It's The Drive, 93.7 Ticket.
Give your furnace a break with the help of Heartland of Nebraska Windows. Heartland of Nebraska Windows offers a free estimate, full window replacements, all vinyl triple pane windows, and a lifetime warranty of everything, while still keeping their prices affordable. Sounds too good to be true, right? Heartland of Nebraska Windows is locally and family owned with their own team of installers. Give the window experts at Heartland of Nebraska Windows a call today at 402-430-3852 or visit them online at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. Elevate your home or business with the help of Heartland of Nebraska Windows today.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. 93.7 The Ticket. Fox, KFXL Weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Any showers and thunderstorms will be wrapping up here today. Then we'll see decreasing cloud cover. It's going to be a breezy Wednesday. Gusts up around 30 to 35 miles an hour. High temperature right around 61 degrees. Tonight, mostly clear all the way down to 34 for a low. We'll see plenty of sunshine tomorrow, the high temperature near 60, and then cooler and rainy as we head to the weekend. I'm meteorologist Aaron Downer for 93.7 The Ticket and ticketfm.com.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Have you been accused of a crime and don't know where to turn? At Liberty Law Group, we understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you're up against the legal system, you need an advocate you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. Liberty Law's experienced trial attorneys are committed to the defense of liberty for those accused. Don't let a criminal charge ruin your life. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you need. Advocates you deserve. That's 877-42-LIBERTY or libertylawnebraska.com.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Raising Cane's is celebrating our golden birthday year. Join the party with golden chicken fingers and a limited edition golden blush puppy that benefits local pet organizations. Get yours while supplies last. See RaisingCanes.com for details. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
Fleet Feet Lincoln is excited for the upcoming spring season and the warmer temps, and they want you to get outside and be active. Fleet Feet's Fit ID process takes a free 3D image of your feet to help runners and walkers alike find comfortable tennis shoes and inserts that ease pain associated with plantar fasciitis, bunions, and more. Get back on your feet this spring with a trip to Fleet Feet, open 7 days a week at 77th and Pioneers. If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage door sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, a realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com or give them a call today at 402-590-5800. Doors Plus. Garage doors and more. The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Welcome to The Drive with AD Raff and Ahman Green. Former Husker football national champion, speaker, and author, Aaron Davis.
Nebraska will win the national championship. The Cornhuskers beat Miami. It is history, 13-0, and bring that trophy back to Lincoln.
Former Arena Football League quarterback, former head coach of the Capital City Crush, and guru of Husker football history, Chris Raff.
25 straight wins for the Cornhuskers. One of the most dominating stretches in college football history.
We may have seen one of the best teams in the history of college football tonight.
12-year NFL veteran.
He's got some speed to go with strength.
Huskers and Green Bay Packers Hall of Famer.
Shovel pass to Green into Vikings territory. Finally brought down.
And University of Nebraska East sports coach, Ahman Green.
Look at Green all by himself. 20, 10, touchdown.
Sponsored by Doors Plus on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Folks, we are back on this beautiful Wednesday. It's hump day today. Again, Nebraska takes on UNO tonight at 6 o'clock there in Omaha. Yesterday, spring practice, we had Coach John Butler that was talking all things Nebraska football. And before we go to that, of course, we want to get to who takes care of us on the radio waves here. Nick, as I'm pulling this up, I know you're pulling that up as well. My notes at here. Nick, I got too many. I think I got too many windows.
That's right. Yeah, I think there's a lot of curiosity in terms of like what John Butler and Phil Snow collectively are going to do.
Mm-hmm.
I just think last year there was so much like up in the air of okay, we know Tony White's involved. We know you brought John Butler in to kind of be the defensive coordinator in waiting. We find out halfway through the year that Phil Snow has been helping out virtually over like laptop and Zoom communication. And you have Dana Holgerson, who's been in person. And it was just kind of bizarre, and it felt weird all around because last year the problem wasn't necessarily the defense. It certainly needed help, right? But it wasn't the main bugaboo of Nebraska's roster. So I kind of really want to get to that here in just a few moments as well.
Absolutely. Here's what we got right here. Of course, this segment is brought to you by Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services. Jack has been a well-respected representative since 1999 and can help protect your home, vehicle, family, or even your future. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100 or visit one of his two locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services can help you.
Yeah, Jack attending the Crown basketball tonight.
Yes,
how about that?
In Vegas.
Yep, he's in Vegas.
Ice hockey game last night.
Yeah, Austin also went to the Vegas Golden Knights game last night. So I'm excited for Austin to join us here in the next segment so we can talk about that. Okay, to John Butler, Nebraska defensive coordinator, spoke yesterday. I mentioned the whole Phil Snow, John Butler relationship. How is that going to mesh? How is it going to work? We know coaches a lot of times, guys, are very much of control freaks, and they don't like anybody stepping into their space and trying to tell them what to do, especially when you're the designated coordinator or head honcho into that room. So how would John Butler characterize Phil Snow's role, and what does he want it to be? Here's what he had to say.
I want it to be is to help us and help our players.
Okay. No way. Okay, let's see what we can. Let's see.
I want it to be is to help us and help our players in every single possible way that he can.
Wants to be a
and
coach.
For me and for all of us to be open to any opportunity he can provide to make us better, make me better, make our team better. I mean, he's out there coaching up freshman DBs, coaching his ass off, having fun. I'm over there watching his drills, and I coached DBs in the NFL for 10 years and coached them for 20 years in different levels. And I'm over there watching different guys do their drills, and I'm learning stuff. So that's part of the mindset that everybody has to have when we're all there together. It's like, okay, Matt provides the vision. I'm the leader of the room, but we're all on the same page trying to make this the best product we can for Nebraska football.
Okay. Let's build off of that. Let's see what this one has. Have you ever been on a staff where someone had a similar role into what Phil Snow is now? Here's what John Butler had to say.
I actually have. When I was with the Texans, Romeo Crennel was our defensive coordinator, and obviously incredibly successful defensive coordinator in the NFL, and was our coordinator for a couple of years. And then he got moved to a senior defensive assistant role. And I think that you're a fool if you don't embrace that knowledge and that experience, whether it was him when we were with the Texans or obviously here now with Coach Snow. We all understand we're all focused on one thing, and that's to make Nebraska's defense and the black shirts as best as possible. So there's no egos in that room. It's all about getting better and improving.
Guys, if I had to ask you your confidence level in Nebraska baseball, Nebraska's defense not taking a step back on a scale from 1 to 10, where do you guys land? Just out of curiosity, when you factor in coaching changes, when you factor in guys that have left the program, guys that have graduated from the program, but also the players that they were able to retain, the Riley Van Poppels of the world, the Keona Davises of the defense, Deshaun Singleton is still back there, Marquise Buford.
Sierra Wright's
back. When you factor in all of those, AD, I'll start with you. Like, where's your confidence lie with John Butler at the helm, Phil Snow involved, and a couple of other new faces that you're going to need to have step up, not only on the playing surface, but on the sidelines as coaches?
To me, it's wait and see. I mean,
that's not the question.
Well, I'll tell you what my confidence level is. My confidence level at this point, I'm confident in their abilities to coach.
Okay.
But without seeing something, I can't give you, I see this or that because I haven't seen anything yet. Do I have confidence in them as coaches? Absolutely. I mean, they're here for a reason. John Butler was in the league for a number of years for a reason. And only stepped away from the league because he wasn't that DC was going to take place in Buffalo. That's a whole nother story. Has nothing to do with here at the collegiate level, in particular at Nebraska. I have every bit of confidence in their coaching abilities. The players out there collectively as a new unit, to me, that's wait to be determined. I have every bit of confidence in the coordinators, so as far as that goes, and the coaches they have in there. Had a chance to meet one of the new ones over this past weekend, and real grindstone type of guy, head down, is going to push those guys. So I have every bit of confidence in the coaches on that defensive side. As far as the product, though, I can't answer something I haven't seen.
I understand that. I understand that. But that's unfortunately.
But confidence in the coaches, though, yes.
These are the types of conversations I think we have to have in
Absolutely.
April, because we don't get that tangible piece of it, right? We love spring football. So go ahead, Raff.
Well, my thing is this: do I believe that they can be good? I think they have the people down there to be good. I think they have the coaching to be good. Who else? I also know Nebraska, and I also know I look at the past, and when they were starting to have problems on offense, it was like, okay, what are we going to do? Okay, well, we'll bring in Dana Holgerson, or we're going to, maybe change who the play caller is. Now, what I see is, okay, Nebraska comes out struggling in the first couple games next year. Do you start hearing the rumblings of, well, maybe Phil Snow should be calling the defenses? I mean, that's what I see. And we all know that Phil Snow was Matt Rule's guy and probably would have been the defensive coordinator, but he said he wanted to take a break away from coaching. But now we just heard how he's down helping the defensive backs in coaching. So he must have that itch again. So I'm sitting there going, okay, how is this all going to play out? I hope for Nebraska, I hope we play great. I hope the black shirts are amazing. I hope John Butler is amazing. But I also see how things could get a little, it's like, well, maybe we should have Phil Snow calling the defenses instead. Or will it be one of those things where Coach Rule will be like, okay, well, this week we're going to have, Phil look over the defense and see what's going wrong, because I felt like it last year, it caused issues for the prior defense coordinator, where it was like, you're bringing in a guy to overlook It's like
Well, we have to make sure that we also realize like Phil Snow's firmly on staff. It's not a situation of last year where he's like a liaison. He is firmly on staff. So it's not like he's going to be involved every single week. He is. That's just how it is.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like Nebraska fans, I mean, they're not stupid by no means. So I just wonder how it plays out if Butler comes out and the defense struggles the first 3 or 4 weeks. That's all I'm saying.
I think it's a collective issue on the entire defensive staff, AG. I think like that's where I'm at there of that goes on. If they can't get a pass rush, that goes on John Butler as the defensive coordinator, but it also goes
100%.
It goes on Phil Simpson, who you brought in as an edge rush coach. Like,
yes.
like there is bits and pieces to it as well. I think it's a collective effort, AG.
What is Phil Snow's title?
He's assistant head coach.
Yep. Yeah, that's what's crazy is he's an associate head coach. So go ahead. AG.
Associate head coach. So you asked me the question about what's my confidence level. So my confidence level right now, same with AD. I got to wait and see in terms of the coaches. For the players standpoint, Singleton and a few other players that you mentioned, I'll say my confidence level is probably I'm gonna put it. If I got to give it a number, I'm gonna say I'm at an 8 because majority of there are players that are in the house that are on the team on the roster that were here last year, and if there any type of leadership amongst those players, they're gonna keep it as it was last year. This is how we played last year. Guys graduated. But now there are new leaders coming in like Singleton and other players as well will be able to collaborate together. It's like, hey, this is what we got to do. This is where we were at last year, because beyond the changes that is out of their control, which is the coach changes that has gone on that we're talking about, the players still got to go out there and do their job. And so now it's just going to be on how the players adjust and diffuse to the new schemes of the defense and the coaching of each individual coach, linebackers to D lines to safeties to corners, how they adjust to what they like to coach, because coaches like to coach certain, every position differently. So they want to now then transition to, they got to learn, the players got to learn how that coach is going to coach them, what they've learned for the last 4 years, from 2 different coaches that they've had or 3 different coaches they've had since Frost. So it's going to be that going on. So that's where my confidence, I'll say about a 7 or 8, because a lot of it's on the players at the end of the day, because once they know what they got to do, which they know they figured out come Pinstripe Bowl with this defense, they knew their identity. So it's going to be that and them figuring out what's going to be the new scheme and how they're going to get coached on it. That's going to determine the other 2 or 3 points that keeps that defense and my confidence in that defense at a 10.
Yeah, it's going to be a interesting spring, and they're going to need all the reps they get to just so they're used to the coaches as far as that goes, used to each other as far as that goes out there, Nick, Raff, and AG, because a lot of these guys, there's a lot of new faces out there, a lot of positions up for grabs. And talking to the guy I met this past weekend, you know what? He has the biggest room, and you have to trim down to 105. So these guys, I think it's different than the other spring, because the reality is this: many of those guys will not be here come the fall. It's a very important spring. Go ahead, Raffy.
You're dropping some hints right there.
Yeah.
And then one more thing I'd like to add, looking at Phil Snow's history, he was a part of the coaching staff between 1995-2000 of Arizona State. He was the DC then. Okay, but that was 30 years ago now, right? And then recently, he was on the coaching staff with Matt Rule at Carolina Panthers, and we know how that went. A couple of years ago, he was on the Chicago Bears roster as a senior defensive analyst, and we know how that went. But actually, that went good, because that was the good side of what the Bears were showing on the football field was the defense,
you ain't lying,
and not the offense. So we got, like I said, it's just determining how. It's just like I think I mentioned this before. It's just like a recipe. You got a new recipe. Now we're gonna see how all these new ingredients are gonna work together. We're gonna see how associate head coach Phil Snow is going to work in with the DC, and then the defensive coach is going to work in with the players. And if it's a good recipe, we're going to see what we saw, and we might even see something even better for our defense this coming year. So right now, we're just stirring the pot up during spring ball to figure out how this all is going to taste and look on the game field, pretty much.
Plenty of spring ball left. A lot of decisions to be made.
And I got to head off, fellas. Peace.
Hey, safe travels to you, man. Safe travels to you. We got Austin Orman, who's going to be calling in for the next segment. We talk about some Nebraska basketball and their very first time that these two programs will meet tonight at 8:30 Central Time. We'll be right back. It's The Drive.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Any showers and thunderstorms will be wrapping up here today. Then we'll see decreasing cloud cover. It's going to be a breezy Wednesday, gusts up around 30 to 35 miles an hour. High temperature right around 61 degrees. Tonight, mostly clear all the way down to 34 for a low. We'll see plenty of sunshine tomorrow, the high temperature near 60, and then cooler and rainy as we head to the weekend. I'm meteorologist Aaron Doudna for 93.7 The Ticket and ticketfm.com.
Your new Total Wine in Lincoln has the largest selection of wines, spirits, and beers, plus totally low prices and friendly service from our helpful guides. With over 8,000 wines, 4,500 spirits, and 2,500 beers, you're sure to find your favorites and something new. You can even order delivery, in-store, or curbside pickup. Find what you love what you find, only at Total Wine and More. Now open in Lincoln next to Gateway Mall.
Drink responsibly, B21.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today. Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Take control of your health with the DASH scan at Advanced Medical Imaging. The DASH scan is a full-body MRI designed for advanced health screening. This dynamic approach provides exceptionally sharp images across multiple organ systems, helping to detect potential concerns early. With minimal radiation and no invasive procedures, the DASH scan offers a safe, comprehensive look at your health. Plus, results are delivered faster than ever, giving both patients and physicians confidence in screening and diagnosis. Your health is too important to wait. Schedule your DASH scan today at Advanced Medical Imaging. Visit amimaging.com or call 402-484-6677 to learn more.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Raising Cane's is celebrating our golden birthday year. Join the party with golden chicken fingers and a limited edition golden blush puppy that benefits local pet organizations. Get yours while supplies last. See RaisingCanes.com for details. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage door sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, a realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com or give them a call today at 402-590-5800. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
Fleet Feet Lincoln is excited for the upcoming spring season and the warmer temps, and they want you to get outside and be active. Fleet Feet's Fit ID process takes a free 3D image of your feet to help runners and walkers alike find comfortable tennis shoes and inserts that ease pain associated with plantar fasciitis, bunions, and more. Get back on your feet this spring with a trip to Fleet Feet, open 7 days a week at 77th and Pioneers.
Imagine a healthier, more active, physically fit version of yourself. If you've been putting off getting into shape,
Now is the time with the Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping 10-Week Challenge. Our program combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching to help you achieve your fitness goals. And ticket listeners, you can get $150 off your enrollment. The next 10-week challenge begins on April 12th. You can get all the info at fxblincoln.com. Don't wait any longer. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
Now back to The Drive with AD, Raff, and Ahman Green on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Folks, we are back. Got to talk about our buddy David from Renew, though, Nick.
How about our friend David?
Yes.
David, this segment brought to you by our friends at Renew. Call or text Nate, Eric, or David at 402-833-3858 or visit them online at renewyourauto.com. Raffy, what do they do best?
Everything.
That is right. Say it loud for the people in the back. What do they do best?
Everything.
Thank you. Body shop,
you go.
ceramic coatings, window tinting, spray in bed liners, paintless dent repair, rust proofing, undercoating, and so much more. Give Nate, Eric, or David a call today at 402-833-3858 or learn more online at renewyourauto.com and see what Renew can do for you. All right, now feels like a pretty good time to bring in the gambling man. You got to know when to hold 'em. Know
And when to fold 'em. I really walked away. Knew when to run. I didn't count my money when I was sitting at the table.
There it is. Austin, what's up?
How we doing? Good morning.
Hey, how is first off, let's not talk basketball. How was the Hoover Dam yesterday, and how was the Golden Knights game?
Hoover Dam was fantastic. It's one of those times where it's good to get out of the sights and sounds of the city. And I mean, what an impressive feat of engineering, right? I'm kind of a nerd myself, if you guys didn't know that. So learning the history behind the Hoover Dam, everything that went into it, just seeing the different settings, right? Don't get me wrong. Love Nebraska. Love a good old fashioned, drive down I-80, but I-11's pretty cool. All sorts of fun, mountains and rock formations, and it's a different view. Hoover Dam was awesome, and the Golden Knights do game presentation right. They lost to Edmonton, even though the Oilers were down Connor McDavid. I was a little bummed that he suffered a lower body injury and didn't get to see him. Yeah. But T-Mobile Arena is incredible. That's a fantastic job of game presentation. That's a 8.5 or 9 out of 10 for my first pro hockey game.
Hey, Austin.
Oh, go ahead.
I got to ask Austin. I mean, it's a question that's just, I have to ask it. Did you go on the best damn tour?
So funny you ask that. I did the best damn tour myself, right? I just kind of went for a walk for the first half an hour or so. And I was actually there a lot longer than I wanted to. I had planned to link up with Ahman, except that I walked into the visitor center. Come to find out, you need a ticket into the visitor center, which I hadn't bought before. I just wanted to, walk through, see what was in there, because it's a visitor center, right? Let's just see what's in there, catch my breath, get a bottle of water or something.
Get a pamphlet.
Right, exactly. But I had done this after I had already, seen everything I thought I needed to see. But I ended up spending like an extra hour and a half there, because I had to buy a ticket to get in. At that point, it's like, well, I'm not just going to spend $15 to sit in the movie theater and walk out the door. So I went on a tour of the generators that ended up being about 45 minutes instead of half an hour. So the actual dam tour was self-guided, but the generator tour, I was with a group.
Dude, weren't you just blown away at the power and the size of that whole operation?
Oh my gosh. I mean, what is like 726.4 feet from base to the top, 660 feet, the spillways, the 4 tunnels that they built to divert the river, and how quick they were able to do it, right? I mean, it blows my mind that even back in the 1920s and 30s, they were able to not only, get the first part of the project done in a couple years, but within like 5 years, this thing was built without any of the technology that we have today. It's incredibly mind-blowing.
And the Freedom Bridge is also crazy there.
Yeah, I mean, just seeing that from the dam, you're like, okay, this is pretty darn cool. And then you look up and there's a bridge spanning over this whole canyon. It looks pretty sick. So my mind was blown pretty much the whole time I was there.
Are you going to go back to the Hoover Dam just to see it again?
Don't tempt me with a good time.
Hey, AD, I was going to ask you, AD and Raff, if we would have said the name Connor McDavid and just given no context, would you have known who we were talking about?
No.
He's also referred to by myself as Connor McJesus. So he is very good for the Edmonton Oilers. Austin,
Chase B loves it. He goes, whoa. The ticket talking about hockey. April Fool's was yesterday.
well, don't ask me to actually break down the game. I put out my analysis after the second period because, first of all, I don't even know what a period is. I'm used to quarters. Dividing it into three doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I thought the Vegas defense was bad. I mean, they allowed a lot of offensive rebounds out of their zone, and they really never went man. That one I never really understood. It is super sloppy in transition. I mean, loose handle, couldn't capitalize, barely got any shots up for the last half an hour of game time. So that's really my analysis of the game, guys.
Hey,
Chase B, he's doing his best, brother.
Hey, was there ever an icing called?
No, there wasn't interference, but it wasn't pass interference, so I was very confused.
Okay. So very, very confused on what was going on there. Was there any fights? Did they drop the ball?
No, it was a very anodyne game. So Vegas scored first. It was pretty quick. And then I'm trying to think. It took till late in the first period for Edmonton to get on the board. Then in that second period, the Golden Knights went down 2 players. So they were double penalty killed, playing 5-on-3. Edmonton scores right away. They get one right as soon as Vegas gets back to full strength. Knights scored early in the third to make it interesting and had, I think, 5 or 6 shots on goal in the last 4 or 5 minutes. A couple really nice saves by the goalie.
Wow. Hey, they won it, 2 years ago? Was it 2 years ago that Vegas won it all, or 3 years ago?
Yes, 2 years
sounds
ago.
right. Yeah.
Way to go, AD. I got a question for everybody out there. Everybody out there with the Drive bingo card out there. Did anybody have anodyne on their bingo card?
Raff, you say a lot of real unique words at times. I'm not sure if they're always words either. So it wouldn't have surprised me if somebody just kind of scribbled that one in the corner, but we'll see. All right, Austin. Hey, so Nebraska, Georgetown tonight. I think we talked a lot about it yesterday about kind of the lineups that Nebraska has the most success with. Throughout the entire season, is the recipe the same for them tonight against the Hoyas?
I would think so. I don't see why there's any reason to presume there's anything different that needs to be done. I will say that when you look at Georgetown's roster, again, it's not huge. They're down freshman Thomas Sorber, who's considering going into the NBA draft as a one and done. He was their second leading scorer, 14.5 points, 8.5 rebounds, also 2.5 assists per game. He's a stud. Drew Fielder will play some minutes for them. And that's the extent of really their rotation guys that are above 6'10". Their best players are guards and forwards. So I kind of hope that Nebraska decides to play small tonight. I really think that would be Nebraska's best matchup. Georgetown won't play incredibly fast, but they're not afraid to run when they have opportunities. But I'm not going to say that that's what Nebraska will do, because we saw this from Fred Hoiberg last year. You think about the Northwestern game when Nebraska was bigger last season. It didn't go well for Nebraska, but Nebraska started too big. You think about when that really atrocious Michigan team came in, that was an incredibly small team. And what did Nebraska make it an emphasis to do early? They established Josiah Alec, not exactly Nebraska's top offensive threat. So even if tonight would, again, present a good opportunity to, I think, go small and try to match the pace and tempo and athleticism of Georgetown, nothing that I've heard tells me Nebraska is going to do anything besides try to maul Georgetown and set the tone on the interior tonight.
It's really fascinating from a depth standpoint, guys, because obviously, we come off of watching a game against Arizona State to where Nebraska had the depth advantage. Arizona State had guys that had entered the portal. Obviously, also had a guy foul out during the game. And it's fascinating now in the current day and age of the portal to where there's teams playing without a permanent head coach, Villanova, who won a game last night. You have guys that have entered the portal from some of these programs that are still playing in a postseason tournament. Nebraska's on the fortunate end of both of those, to where there's no curiosity or drama around any coaches other than maybe who's going to replace Adam Howard. But then number two, Nebraska's not going to lose any guys, it appears, to the transfer portal yet. And if they do, I mean, that's some really bad planning on the parts of the players, because you kind of need to get in there quick as soon as possible. And so I guess, like, as Nebraska goes throughout this tournament, Austin, that's got to be an advantage to have your full lineup and your full roster available, despite, Raleigh Wooster, I guess.
Well, yes and no. It's great to have more options in case you need them, but if the depth isn't going to play well, what's the point of having that depth, right? Nebraska couldn't rely on more than, 5, maybe 5.5 players down the stretch to win the game against Arizona State. So yeah, I mean, Nebraska should have a bevy of options available off the bench, whether that's, spot minutes from Braxton Mee. Obviously, Connor Sejan was effective in the second half against Arizona State. Yes, Nebraska should have more bodies to throw at the problem, but if those guys aren't clicking and they're not in a lineup that makes sense, the depth isn't going to do Nebraska any good if those guys aren't solutions to the problems.
Yeah.
Austin, Georgetown had a few players, I think 3 players that were out as well, but then you have sophomore guard Malik Mack that knocked in 37 points. He was 8 of 12 from the 3-point range. You had Jordan Banks that chipped in 16. Do you think so? And one guy, I think, was he ill?
Well, a big part of the issue was that Georgetown, I think, had a bout of food poisoning. They ended up going to a buffet and they got food poisoning. So a bunch of members of their team ended up with a little bug.
Yeah.
They went on Fremont Street. They didn't stay on the strip.
What'd you say, Raff?
Don't cheat me on the green stuff.
Yeah. Right?
Clark Griswold going through the buffet.
Yeah. Austin, do you see those guys? I think their prime time was their freshman center.
Sorber. Yep, he's out.
Sorber. He's not playing regardless, I don't think, is he?
Correct. No, he's missing the tournament out with, I believe, a leg or ankle injury.
Mm-hmm. But there, like I said, Nebraska matchup problems, like you mentioned, obviously Sejan, didn't score any in the first half and ends up knocking, I think, 16 or 17 in the second half. I didn't see that coming in particular. Georgetown, I think, it probably and ASU was athletic. I just think Nebraska, I would hate to see them, Austin, get down and have an abysmal half like they did, man. What is going to be, in your opinion, the key for them starting off fast and not being down 8 to 10 points at halftime?
Well, AD, I think you're dreaming on a prayer right now, my guy. It's going to happen, right? So just prepare yourself for the inevitability, right? You can hope, you can pray that it won't happen, but just prepare yourself for essentially the inevitability. I really do think it's going to start with forcing some tough contested looks. And that to me comes down to, number one, Sam Hoiberg getting up in Malik Mack's grill, right? I mean, that's a guy that went 8 of 12 from 3-point range in the win over Washington State, right. Really helped carry Georgetown down the stretch. Malik Mack is a stud. He transferred in from Harvard to Georgetown. I mean, he's averaging double digits and about 5 assists per game as well. He's really the head of the snake for them. And then I'm curious to see who it is that draws the defensive assignment on Micah Peavy. That's a senior. He's 6'7". He's their leading scorer at 17 points per game. Also, 6 rebounds and 4 assists per game. Georgetown is incredibly top heavy. Micah Peavy is a fantastic player. He's bounced around a little bit. He was at Texas Tech for a year, TCU for a couple years, and then has been at Georgetown the last 2. They list him as a guard forward, 6'7", 215. My guess is that's the Bryce Williams assignment, right? Peavy's pretty darn good with the ball in his hands on the perimeter. And I know a lot of people would say, well, put Juwan Gary on him. He's the defensive stopper. I don't think Juwan's nearly as good on the ball. I think it's going to come down to Bryce Williams, Sam Hoiberg doing their job at the point of attack on Peavy and Mack. And if those guys for Nebraska can prevent the 2 leading scorers available for Georgetown from getting off early, that gives Nebraska a chance to get out to, well, maybe not a fast start, but a less slow start at least.
Well, Nebraska takes on the Georgetown Hoyas tonight.
Hoya paranoia.
Yes, indeed, man. Just on the stats real quick, Bryce Williams with that game, the 30-point game of the night, becomes number 4 as far as 30-point games. Dave Hoppin had 7 of them. Tyronn Lue had 7. Alec Merrick had 6. Jerry Fort back in the day had 5. And Bryce Williams right there tied at 4, along with Palmer, Andre Smith, and a slew of others that have also had that number.
Austin, before we let you go, hypothetically, we'll get your prediction in just a moment, but hypothetically speaking, if Nebraska is able to get past Georgetown tonight, they'll play the winner of Butler and a fellow by the name of is Thad Matta still with the Butler Bulldogs?
Yes, he is. He's their head coach.
Yeah, Thad Matta. So it's either Butler or Boise State. Who presents the better matchup for Nebraska, but who do you think it will actually be?
I think it's Boise, and I think Nebraska would prefer to see Butler. I think Boise is better. Boise is a team that was in legitimate NCAA tournament bubble consideration. They've got one of the players that I wish America would have learned a little bit more about, a guy by the name of Tyson Dagenhart. He was pretty good in their first round game against George Washington. So selfishly, if Nebraska were to win, I would prefer to see Boise State. But I do think if you're holding on for a postseason tournament championship, I do think that Butler's probably the more gettable team. Leon Rice is a heck of a coach out there for Boise as well. And I mean, you just don't see Boise State, right? We saw Nebraska and Butler. Funny enough, Butler was Nebraska's previous postseason win before beating Arizona State on Monday. So before the Alonzo Verge Bowl win, it was the Barry Collier Bowl win back in 2019. So I think it'd be more fun, more interesting, more exciting across the board for Nebraska to see Boise.
I was at that NIT quarterfinal game before, because Nebraska then went to TCU and lost because Lat Mayen, bricked shot after shot against the Horned Frogs.
I have not heard that name in a few years.
Hey, that's all I'm saying. Austin, we'll get your prediction in just a second. I have to ask your thoughts on Michi Johnson. We have not mentioned Michi Johnson on the show. And the reason that I brought it up is because Cubsker asked about Jamarcus Lawrence, and that's a conversation for another time. But Michi Johnson, guys, he started his career at Ohio State. He then transferred to South Carolina, transferred back to Ohio State, and is now transferred back to South Carolina. He has alternated schools. He just wants to be familiar with the campus, Austin.
This is ridiculous.
He loves Columbus/Columbia. He can't figure out which one he likes more. And the funny part was he was really good. He was really solid at Ohio State his first couple years. All SEC caliber player at South Carolina says, nope, I want the Big Ten. I want to go back and translate this from the SEC to the Big Ten. Only played in, I think, a handful of games for Ohio State before sitting out, really, I think, from December on for personal reasons. Never heard a great explanation for that, but I guess he's more comfortable in Columbia as opposed to Columbus. So best of luck to him, but welcome to the transfer portal age, Jensen. Michi Johnson is the poster child for it right now.
You guys, you think about this, and it's like, what are we doing, man?
Yeah.
What are we really doing? It's just nuts. And unknown, I'm not sure what the texture on there was. Make sure I get it right. Cubsker, what's up, brother? He asked, hey, guys, just wanted to know if you guys, the possibility of Jamarcus Lawrence returning has any leverage that you've heard of. He is at Rhode Island, I believe, is where he's
entered the portal, though.
Entered the portal on Monday.
Yeah.
And Nebraska reached out.
Yes.
Nebraska reached out to him, Cubsker, but he was at Rhode Island last year. He did hit the portal, so who knows?
I think there was a lot there, Austin, and guys, I think there was a lot there that Nebraska didn't want Jamarcus Lawrence to leave. I think there was certainly a path that I think this staff saw Jamarcus playing a pretty key role for them here, what would have been this season. And I don't know necessarily if they wanted him to, if that was a mutual, we're going to move on from both sides. I don't know if that truly was. And in this day and age, you just don't burn relationships, obviously, Austin.
Yeah, I'll just add this really quickly. I think for Jamarcus Lawrence, it was about the role, right? Because he was a starter before he got moved to the bench in favor of the two big lineup. But whether or not it was Jamarcus Lawrence, Nebraska missed a player like him, a capable off-ball shooter that always goes a long way. But also, he was the quickest guy with the ball in his hands on Nebraska's team. He could really get Nebraska going in transition. He could break his guy down off the dribble as well. So whether Nebraska ends up reuniting with Jamarcus Lawrence or not, that's the archetype of player that I think Nebraska could use on next year's roster.
Yeah, we're going to need someone like that can generate some buckets on their own. Yeah, as far as that goes,
100%. Austin, who wins tonight?
Well, Nebraska favored by 7.5, but it does seem a little rich for my blood. But also, folks, do not bet on the college basketball crown. There are rumors going around that it is unregulated.
So tournament books aren't paying it out. It's incredible. It takes place in Vegas, and it's unregulated. They that up.
Raff,
incredible. Yeah.
It's important to mention the fact that there's a college basketball tournament being played exclusively in Las Vegas that is unregulated. It is hilarious. Just peak irony. It is too good. It is hilarious.
Especially I will say it has to pay out of NIL money too.
My gosh.
It makes it even better.
It gets better and better and better. My guess is this is another close game. Of Georgetown's, 33 games now on the year? 12 of them have been decided by 2 possessions or less. So I'm curious to see if Nebraska can keep Georgetown at arm's length in the last, segment, the last 4 minutes of the game, or if Georgetown's premier shot makers are going to take over, right? You can tell me that Nebraska gets out to a 10-point lead with about 8 minutes to go and just kind of holds on from there. Or you could tell me that, hey, it's a tie game or Nebraska's up by 1 possession, and that's when Mac and PV take over and Nebraska's season ends in the quarters. So I don't know. I could see this game going really one of those 2 ways. I'm not bold enough to put my money where my mouth is. And again, given the unregulated nature of things, I am not putting any money on it either.
Raff, what's your score, man? What you think? Who wins?
I want Nebraska to win so Austin can experience a Friday night in Vegas, maybe go to Hakkasan, Grays Beach Club. Let's go nuts on Friday. Let's go Huskers.
Hey, Austin. Okay, you got the Huskers, Raff. I love it. Austin, if they win, you got to go to the Blue Man Group.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I should look into that.
My buddy Chad Beeman took me 6-7 years ago to see that. I'd never been to a Vegas show. When I go to Vegas, usually golf. But he took me to the Blue Man Group, dude. Unbelievable. So and there's a billion shows, but definitely check that one out if you get a chance, man.
I'm starting to think you guys just don't like having me back in Lincoln. I mean, I appreciate being on stream with you, but you keep wanting Nebraska to win. Are things better when I'm gone or something? Like, I miss you guys. I miss you, but whatever.
I'm living vicariously through you right now.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Raff is always in Lincoln. Raff never gets to leave Lincoln, so he's just living vicariously through you because he's only ever in Lincoln.
Hey, Huntsville, Vegas, a lot of similarities.
Yeah,
Hunts Vegas. What's the difference? Yeah.
No, I mean, I think we're all familiar with my analogy of the Nebraska basketball season. So for us to say, for you to say that, we want you to stay in Vegas is different. But okay, whatever.
Real quick, Earthquake Glue. Good morning. He goes, Absinthe in LV is the best show
in Las Vegas.
The best show.
Yeah.
What did I say? Las Vegas.
He said LV.
LV. Yeah.
Is that I think that may be a Cirque du Soleil.
Hit you in the mouth. You say something to me again. That's a suspect.
Something. I said, hey, something.
I'm going to say Nebraska gets it done.
You got to know when to hold them.
What's your
All
score,
right.
Nick? You think Nebraska gets it done?
I do not. I think Georgetown.
Dang it, Nick, you were saying this the other night.
I know. I think.
Didn't I say they're going to come back and win the other night?
Yeah, it's just so hard for me to have confidence.
I get it.
In Nebraska, like they do so many things not well, and they don't finish at the rim that well, and this is a team that scores a chunk of their points in the paint, and they don't finish well in the paint. Like it feels like if Nebraska goes 3 for 11 on layups in the first half again, or something similar, which is their IQ or their identity right now. One of these times, and we saw it towards the end in March, they're not going to be able to continue to come back. Like they're just not. Austin mentioned it. We admit it. Like this is going to be a clunky game. I feel like all of these games in the Crown are just going to be clunky, and I don't feel like that fits Nebraska's MO in order for them to win.
Right.
I just don't.
I think it's definitely going to be a clunky game, but I'll take a clunky win.
Oh, absolutely.
But we'll see what happens tonight. Austin, man, we appreciate you checking in with us, brother. Hopefully, you'll be calling in tomorrow. Actually, we'll discuss that another time. I'm just going to say, brother, have fun
we don't
tonight.
want you on tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. I'll know when to fold him. I'll walk away. It's okay.
Actually, Austin, Husker baseball.
Oh boy. Oh
That's
boy.
a conversation for another time, I suppose.
Yeah.
Folks, want to give
You guys got
Austin
another hour?
Austin, thanks a bunch, brother. Be careful, be safe. Have a great time tonight at the game. Folks, we're going to come back. Raff and Huntsville, me and Nick here at the Mothership. We'll be back for our last segment.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Now's the perfect time to get even stronger at Planet Fitness. Save $28 or more when you join today for just $1 down, $15 a month. Mix up your routine or create a customized workout plan with free fitness training. That's right. Certified trainers, unlimited sessions with best-in-class equipment. Plus, there's over 2,700 convenient locations to choose from, with most open 24 hours. Save $28 or more today when you join Planet Fitness for just $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends April 11th. See Home Club for details.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with Taco Night on Mondays or Whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Hi, my name is Molly Party. I'm a realtor with MP Dodge Real Estate. I'm a newly licensed agent and considered numerous brokerages before deciding on MP Dodge. I chose the company that gives me the most support in my new career, plus guidance and encouragement along the way. MP Dodge has a unique mentoring program for new agents. It's helped jumpstart my career and has a supportive management team and administrative staff. So if you're contemplating a career in real estate, look no further than MP Dodge. It will be the best decision you make.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Your new Total Wine in Lincoln has the largest selection of wines, spirits, and beers, plus totally low prices and friendly service from our helpful guides. With over 8,000 wines, 4,500 spirits, and 2,500 beers, you're sure to find your favorites and something new. You can even order delivery, in-store, or curbside pickup. Find what you love what you find, only at Total Wine and More. Now open in Lincoln next to Gateway Mall.
Drink responsibly, B21.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today. Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call today at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Now back to The Drive with AD, Raff, and Ahman Green on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, folks, we are back for the last segment. Stevie T hopped in the house. Definitely got to check out the show at 11 with Bach. Steve Taylor on this beautiful Wednesday morning. A lot of Blue Jackets are in town. They're not Future Farmers of America anymore. It's just FF. It's just FFA.
Oh yeah.
They changed the whole. They shifted the entire marketing because they were in other populations to where students felt they couldn't join because they weren't from a farming background. So it's just FFA now. I know all my nieces and nephews were in it. The ones from Mount Sumner. Shayna, I think Shayna still has something to do with it. My sister-in-law is still pretty instrumental with FFA. My kids weren't in it, but they did 4-H things like that. But always a big shout out to FFA. Man, I spoke to them at Michigan State, their state conference a few years back at their big conference center, their performing arts center. Man, that place was off the chains, man. But FFA does a lot of great work. I know there's a lot of our listeners that have also were participants in FFA growing up, and maybe their kids as well. So it's a great organization. You don't have to be in farming to be an FFA.
What does FFA stand for now then?
Nothing. From what the lady told me out there, she was one of the sponsors. It doesn't stand for anything anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, it stands for something, obviously.
It's like the Athletics. There's no Oakland or no Vegas or no Sacramento.
Yeah.
It's just the Athletics.
Just the Athletics.
Nobody asks questions. The A's. Don't call them the Oakland Athletics.
The Washington football team.
Yeah, the Washington football.
Right.
The Washington football team.
Right.
Stevie, I'm gonna say this to you before we get out of here. Man, your little grandson, dude, he looks like
little Nas?
he looks like an AI doll.
Oh yeah,
That little dude.
He's a fake looking baby.
He don't even look real.
He don't look real, dude.
Because Sydney's way overseas right now. Where's she at?
Dude, she's in France. I thought I did something like going to Canada, which is like nothing, right? that
Peasants.
little Nazir Taylor Webster has been to New Zealand, Australia, France, California twice, Nebraska twice. He has more tickets on his passport than I do.
Stamps on his passport than I do. Credit card, so racking up some miles.
And he's only 9 months. He's only 9 months. Sid has been all over, man. She's had a great experience.
I love keeping up with little sis, man. She's like my daughter, and just that little dude. Steve, Nick, you wouldn't remember this because you're too young. Your grandson looks like that little black Gerber baby.
Dude, I tell people
he looks just. Am I right or wrong?
I thought I have some good looking kids, and you have good looking kids, but this is the cutest biracial black baby I've ever seen.
Look real.
He doesn't look real, man.
You want to squeeze his cheeks and just and his eyes are just looking at you. It's like that baby looks like it's been AI generated.
Yeah, Sid has set the bar really, really high for my two other daughters.
Yeah, they probably like, no, we good. Hey, kids, no.
Anyway, who do you like for the final four? Who do you like? Who's your team to win it all?
Well, I for my bracket, which is busted right now, I had Tennessee playing Florida.
But in the finals.
Yeah, I had them in the finals.
Okay,
Obviously,
right.
Tennessee's gone. They're eliminated. Houston looks rough, man. Them boys look. We're going to talk about them tomorrow.
Kelvin Sampson doesn't get enough credit for what he does at Houston.
I don't think he does.
Houston was a dumpster fire before he took over.
Yeah.
And Kelvin Sampson has completely reinvigorated and has completely reshifted and remade that entire program.
We're going to talk about this tomorrow. I don't want to spill the beans on it, but there is something that's remarkable about his basketball amongst many things.
Yeah.
There's a picture of them, Raff, Steve-O, and Nick. You think it's a team, you think it's a football team's secondary. They're that cut up and shredded. And we'll talk about that tomorrow. I think it's going to be a good talking point tomorrow. But I'd say Duke looks awfully tough too, man.
I know. I'm not a Duke. I hate them. I'm not a Duke
tough
guy, but
really
it looks like Duke
really
can give Auburn a run.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
It's going to be a heck of a game. Raffy, if we need some doors taken care of, man, who do we talk to?
Oh, we talked to Doors Plus. If your garage door needs maintenance, you need an entirely new garage door, give Cameron Hall and his team a call today at 402-590-5800. Doors Plus is locally owned and handles everything from residential or commercial garage doors, garage door openers, safety tune-ups, or custom design. Visit DoorsPlusLLC.com to learn more. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Raffy, what you got today, my friend?
All right, everybody. Today's Raff's good take goes out to Kevin McCaffrey. Not sure if you guys have heard of Kevin yet, but Kevin does ultra marathons every month at Holmes Lake. He runs from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., 50 miles every month, and he's doing it all for a good cause. So he's done it for, oh man, I had his causes pulled up here. Let me pull that up. So
7 to 7 once a month.
Yep. So he ran January. He ran for the Food Bank of Lincoln. February, Special Olympics, and then March he ran for the Girls on the Run in Nebraska. And
I wonder if he's in shape.
Yeah. So you can You can go to let me pull this up. I had it. Oh yeah, you can go to Kevin's monthly missions on Facebook, and you can see when he's running at Holmes Lake next and what mission he'll be running for. So Kevin, you are Raff's good take.
That's incredible.
I love it. Big shout out to Kevin. I'm going to check that out. Raff, text that to me too, man, because I definitely want to check that out. I mean, I ain't running, but I'll definitely cheer for him.
Yeah.
Folks, the 80 attitude adjustment is very quick today. Do something that matters. You know, if you've been alive and been blessed to live, do something that matters. And Kevin, Raff, I think you nailed it with Kevin doing something that matters, whether it's your time, your resource, your talents. Do something to give back in some shape or form. Life is way too short not to. Raff, appreciate you. Folks, you definitely want to stick in with Steve. And Bach will be on for the next hour. You definitely want to check those guys out. Raff, former All-Americans, former Steve Taylor. Nick, appreciate you, man.
Of course, Raffy, we got 20 seconds. Take it away.
All right, everyone. Have a great rest of your day. Remember, be nice to each other and go Big Red tonight.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
You don't have to cross your fingers when digging into the ground this spring. Start every project with a call to Nebraska 811 so utilities like LES can mark their buried lines and you can avoid injury and power outages.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today. Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Any showers and thunderstorms will be wrapping up here today. Then we'll see decreasing cloud cover. It's going to be a breezy Wednesday, gusts up around 30 to 35 miles an hour. High temperature right around 61 degrees. Tonight, mostly clear all the way